Oh, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Buying Panther Presents. Today we are saying goodbye to Stranger Things as we discuss the cinematic conclusion as we in season 5, volume 3, which I thought was an outstanding movie. I kind of wish I would have saw it in theaters myself. But let's see what the crew thinks was the future look like for these characters. Did we end them properly? What could have been, what was, and what do we believe happened to certain characters? We'll discuss of all that. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video, comment on the video. All that's in the intro. So let's get to the new intro. All right.
Wait, I got to do it now. Wait. This is gonna be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go around the room in general what we thought about the final episode, and then we'll get in some nuggets, good stuff, and then maybe things that we would like to improve upon. Will be how we will try to pull this off. We'll start with Kim. Kim, thank you for joining us again. Overall, what'd you think of the conclusion?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was the last episode was really exciting, and I enjoyed the whole story. I thought it was really heartfelt, and Elle, I'm hoping that she's somewhere living her life and being taken care of the way she should have always been taken care of, not abused by people taking advantage of her and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I had a lot of tears. It was tons of tears, especially at the end. I was like, oh, okay, I got to turn this off for a second and get myself together. So, but I always enjoyed it because it takes you back to those time that time like the 80s, and you know, when things were, I feel like things were a little bit simpler than they are now. Things are a little bit more confusing now and busy. So, but I enjoyed the whole series. So,
all right, we will come back for individual stuff with Kim. Chris, what do you think overall of the series?
You mean the episode?
Yeah, episode. Excuse me. Yes.
I thought it was cool. It was cool. I think I wanted a little bit more. You know what I mean? There was I felt like there's certain things that was kind of lacking. You know, but I did pretty much. I love the epilogue. I did love the epilogue afterwards. You know, to kind of show, you know, with the 18-month jump. You know, overall, you know, and I like the whole Toy Story 3 ending, with Andy looking after, you know, did you see Toy Story 3?
I did not. So I'm just.
Oh, okay. Well, Andy sees like he's giving away his Buzz Lightyear and Woody or whatever. And actually he sees this little girl comes up and grabs, because he's going away to college.
Oh,
and he grabs the little Woody. He's like, what is that? Oh, he's like, here you go. I'm the cowboy. And then Andy just has that look like, which at that point I cried. I actually cried watching Toy Story, watching a cartoon. And I was like, damn, Andy's grown up and like now it's moved on to the next generation, which was this little girl. And then, you know, and I had a feeling that's how this was going to end. Something told me that they were going to have something going on with the next generation. You know, overall it was I thought it was all right. It was very Hollywood-esque. It isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you know, it was definitely like went straight James Cameron, which I'm all right as far as like big blockbuster movies, but this is like supposed to be more of a coming of age tale TV show, and it kind of just morphed into something else, you know. But I guess you got to give what some people wanted, but wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but you know, that's whatever. So overall, all right. It's all right. I thought it was all right.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll come back to you for individual topic for deeper dive. Jamani, overall, what'd you think?
Yeah, I would give it like an 8, 7.58. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Not as, I guess for the length of it, yeah, it might be movie theater worthy, but you know, it was a nice it was definitely a finale. It was definitely, this is all we got. So, yeah, it was a nice closing.
All right, so hold on. We got despite the flaws this show had with this seasons, this was still better than Games of Thrones ending. I will agree with that. I see some people trying to compare those two. They saved the best music for the last episode. I feel like you're over 40. Yes. I was like, with that, hence my thumbnail. I was like, do I put Pennywise because I felt a lot of Welcome to Derry vibes, or do I put Prince? And I said, let's go for Prince. Let's go for overall Prince. But I was like,
I was kind of back and forth too. I was kind of thinking because there was a lot of Derry comparisons, and then I was like, I thought it was the fact that they did 2 Prince songs. I was like, okay, all right, y'all put not 1 but 2.
But 2.
All right.
From the same album from 1984.
Y'all do realize that Prince is rolling around in his grave, right? Because
he hates this stuff. He hates
that.
I think you know what though, Kim. I don't know if you remember though. Towards the end though, he did kind of loosen up as far as people using his music. He did kind of loosen up.
He was really particular though.
He was. I remember that, and I remember he was like, "Yo, if anybody ever puts anything even on YouTube, like copyright strike, sue, But then I thought I could have sworn that he loosened up a little bit. Like I think he realized that he's trying to get younger fans were starting to discover him, and then that's when he started to kind of pull back a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I was kind of thinking that too.
But Dove's Cry was in Romeo and Juliet, and that was in the 90s. So
I did not know that. Nor do I remember. But anyway, Kim,
with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that one. Oh.
All right, Kim. One thing that you really like that you want to get into, and we'll see what we think about that thing. Is there a topic or a character that kind of stuck out at you?
I think Henry's story stuck out a lot. Like I was glad that they kind of showed exactly what happened inside of that cave, because I was like, what happened to him in this cave that would make him be so fearful of it? And then I saw what happened. I was like, oh my God, that's when this monster basically took him over. And this is where this whole thing started. And I was like, for a child, that it just devastated his entire life, his entire being. So I thought that was well done as far as letting us know what actually happened. Because they would give you bits and pieces of it, right, during the seasons, but they never actually showed us what happened. So I was glad that they did that. I would say Elle's story with her.
Well, let's stick Henry.
Okay.
So let's do Henry.
So that's it. Yeah.
Let's do Henry and Vecna together. So
yes.
his origin story established.
Yeah.
What do you think of how he was ultimately defeated? Like, do you feel like the fight could have been longer? Do you feel like it was appropriate?
I was happy. I'm sorry. What is that lady's name? I gotta get her name.
Joyce chopping off her head.
Child, I would have definitely chopped off his head for all the things that Vecna did to my child. Oh yeah, I would have chopped his head clean off. So yes, Joyce, she's the VP of the episode. So
okay, all right. So and I say that in context. I do
MVP.
think Vecna went out weak. In the end, the fight could have lasted a little longer.
Yep.
But again, anyway, so just to put in that kind of context. But you feel like it was fine and we can move on.
I thought it was long enough. I mean, you saw the anguish in her face. You saw. I mean, and she's a tiny, tiny woman, but she was slinging that axe like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You should never be able to come back.
Just in case you had any questions, like it was like he done, like he really done this time. And okay, so let's go to Chris. What'd you think of the Henry Vecna arc in this episode?
Okay, the arc or just the kill? Okay, because
all together, because Kim, we'll put it all together. So Henry Vecna, what do you think?
Starting off with the whole thing with the cave, I felt that, especially watching some of the Duffer Duffy Brothers interviews over the weekend, it sounds like they were trying to save certain things as far as like what happened when he picked up that rock for a spinoff that they're working on, which is not going to be the whole point of the spinoff, but there's going to be like another element that kind of also showcases it. And I wasn't myself. I was a little bit disappointed. I know obviously if you see the Broadway show, it shows it or whatnot, but let's be realistic. I mean, when it comes to shows, especially big shows, you can't just rely on people just going to watch the spinoff. Like, yeah, Game of Thrones had a huge base, but not a lot of people. I mean, you didn't necessarily get everyone to see House of Dragons. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yes, people love Breaking Bad, loved it, but you didn't get every single person going on to see Better Call Saul necessarily. You know what I mean? Yeah. So exactly. So I felt that the fact that they kind of decided to not necessarily show exactly what happened with The Rock and just kind of show, like, I guess, the bullet hole kind of going, like, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you had the mind flyer kind of saying, find me or whatever, but it doesn't really show exactly like what happened afterwards. I was just like,
what?
No, you can't do that. Like, you can't tease. It's one thing if you just don't show it at all. If you don't do it, then fine, right? You know what I mean? And you just kind of skip over, but don't tease something and just pull back. You know what I mean? Just assuming that people will either see this Broadway show that's only in 2 locations, you know what I mean? Or people will necessarily be here to still see the spinoff, you know, whenever that comes, you know? So that was my thing about that. And yeah, I'm sorry, the fight with the Mind Flyer, man, a lot of people want to hate me during this review. I was really pissed. As Robin said, that's like freaking Godzilla, right? Freaking Godzilla. And you want to tell me that some kids with a freaking flare gun, a freaking like big old sword, a slingshot, and a shotty. Don't forget that shotgun didn't do shit when the military used it on the Demogorgons. And where the hell were they? All right. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me not try to rant just now, but the Demogorgons took shotguns to the face
and kept moving. And kept moving. All right. It was kind of built up, especially with the whole scene in season 3 with Billy, you know, with the mind flyer or whatnot. And I thought it was underwhelming. I would say the design of him looked awesome. I love the design. I love it. Yes. I was good with that. Yes. And even though it did get a little bit Hollywood-esque, you know what I mean? That was the part I was talking about. But my thing is, the fight should have been much longer. If you know, just like the small scene that we had in season 4 between 1 and 11, when they were kind of going back and forth or whatnot, that even kind of seemingly lasted even longer than what we saw inside literally the belly of the beast. I wanted a little bit more of like kind of back and forth, like push you over here and then, you know, hands just everywhere. You know what I mean? I did like the part with, I love the whole thing with Will kind of stepping in. I feel like Will stepping in should have been like saved for like when Vecna was about to like maybe go for the juggler and actually kill 11. And then maybe Will all of a sudden, the thing with Will again. I thought that would have been awesome. It would have been corny, but I would have been all on board with it. Joyce doing the finishing blow. At first, I did kind of hate it. At first, I hated it at first. But then, yeah, the more I thought about it, especially thinking about how frantic she was in the first 2 seasons or whatnot, yeah, I'm on board now. I'm on board. I mean, I know the whole time I was thinking, like, why is she even in Upside Down in the first place? Like, what's she, like, you know what I mean? Everyone kind of somewhat makes sense. Even Lucas, you know what I mean? Because Lucas is more agile. And then here comes little old Joyce, you know what I mean? But I was like, oh, Joyce got to bring the axe. You know, she got to be the Paul Bunyan. So, okay, so I'm now on board on it. It took me watching the second time for me to be like, I hated it at first, but okay, all right, I'm all right. I'm all right with that. It took too many hits. I'm like, I thought like maybe Nancy, now that Nancy's like Rambo, should have been like, Joyce, give me this, and then just one. All Nancy needed was one, just one little.
But Chris, don't you feel like it was important that it was Joyce?
Like no, I do no, and that's why I'm saying like the first time watching it,
yeah,
it didn't make sense to me at first, because these kids were all traumatized for the last 5 seasons. So to me, any one of those 5, with the exception of her and Robin, I have to say, because we just got introduced to Robin not that long ago. You know what I mean? Anyone else, from Lucas, Dustin, Nancy, to pretty much anyone else, would have made sense to me. But then kind of realized, especially when they did certain flashbacks about what happened to Will, and then I had to think about, because it's so long ago, about like everything that she kind of went through in the first couple of seasons. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, okay, I'm on board with it. You know what I mean? You know, and not to mention, it's the last person you would ever expect as well. So,
yep.
So, all right, Giovanni, thoughts on Henry / Vecna's origin and end in the same episode?
I thought it would have been very predictable if he was to have, you know, said, yeah, I was naive or whatever, and I don't want to be with the Mind Flayer anymore after he confronted his trauma memory or what have you. But he was like, nah, I'm all with it. I want the smoke. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, the battle could have gone on a lot longer. This show became like Mama Bear or something like was it the last episode we had
Steve
Karen waking up from the dead to kill some demagogues or whatever. And now we have Joyce chopping the head off of Vecna. I thought that I thought it was going to be Nancy, you know, like coming to you know,
finish the job.
To finish the job, you know, in retaliation for him taking Holly, because that's basically what this season was about. I think it would have made more sense if it was Joyce, if it was, you know, one of those previous seasons when he was directly affecting Will. But yeah, I thought it would have been more fitting if it was a Wheeler or whatever, because, you know, Holly was so predominantly the hostage taken this season, so to say.
All right. But
and as far as like, we talking about the Mind Flayer as well, or no?
Yeah, all together. Yeah.
The Mind Flayer, I thought it was cool that we've been seeing this. It looked like a hand or something, and it flipped upside down, and it's just a giant spider. And I don't know, was it like, hey, we found the weak spot, the tender underbelly, and stab it, and then it's useless or something like that. I thought it was going to be a lot more of a big boss at the end than what it was. It was like, just find a sweet spot and you're done.
Yeah, I mean, so we talked. Hold on. Vecna and the Mind Flayer are one. So if Vecna died, then the Mind Flayer gone forever too. This we have to say.
And then wouldn't Will be kind of affected too? Like when he got hurt, why wouldn't Will also got hurt too? Or
so we are led to believe that once Mind Hive happens. Hive mind starts happening. That's when Will's powers kick in. So that's why all of a sudden he was able to like be useful. But like he never spit out the stuff like Holly did, right? Like we have to assume that when he stuck it in his mouth, that's how he got the power. But he never expelled it. So in theory, that stuff is still in him. If a hive mind activity ever starts going on, but he should spit it out to be consistent with, you know, if Holly is the standard.
No, I'm surprised he just get injured. Like, you know how they were showed.
So
like
he was like you said, he was feeling the bullet from back in the day, right? Like he somehow felt. So he's connected to Henry, but not connected to the Mind Flayer in theory, and they are separate.
Aren't they one? They're not one.
So, like they are one. Like I am Venom, which is what I was thinking when he was like I was like, he's gonna say Venom? I was like, but it's like,
I was thinking that too.
Right? You were like, where are we going with this shit? But no, it's like they're symbiotic. They are symbiotic.
Yeah.
Like they are separate entities. But he's saying I voluntarily gave myself to this thing, but they are separate things. So in theory, Henry being killed inside doesn't kill the Mind Flayer. That's not how that works. Like the Mind Flayer should have been a separate thing that somehow they killed, which doesn't make any sense. Like somehow 11 should have put it down, or Will should have put it down. Will's ability to control creatures, I say Will should have took the Mind Flayer and took care of that. And then 11 can take care of Henry. And then therefore they're both dead. That's to be, since he did the Demogorgons, which 11 couldn't do. That's how I would have.
Is it called a Mind Flayer?
And then Will all of a sudden was like, he's like, no, my son. Like I don't know, just a random thought I had of like Joyce be like, yeah, take that. It's like, don't mess with my
Will's like, baby, that's my neck. That's my neck.
Mommy, no. And then
to your point of consistency, he should have felt that and be like, hold up, wait a minute,
mommy,
you're cutting my own neck. But yeah, they were like, we ain't got time for that.
I know.
But no. Yes.
But did they call it the Mind Flayer because it was killed with a flare?
I don't know. But also, this thing is not the Mind Flayer. That's what pissed me off. I'm like, what is this thing that we are seeing in the last minute? And I'm like, where is the Mind Flayer that we have seen in previous seasons? Where are the Demogorgons, the demigod? Where are those bat-looking things? There's so many creatures that we've seen in 4 seasons that they're all. I saw many memes that they're on vacation. They're sitting around just watching TV. Like, damn, that's really messed up.
In the club, yeah,
right there in the club. Like, what? Like you. And like all of them took many, many hits and did not, and there was no damage whatsoever. But this thing could get anyway. They had to speed it up, bro. They're like, we gotta get through this.
But then it made me think, like, fine, put them in the real world. Oh, that military would lit the hell out of them. If you tell me those 4 kids could just do what they did,
right?
That military, just throw a drone.
I don't know. So not to be redundant or therefore, so. It starts messing up with logical questions. If this all started with a chip of the other planet, right, that somehow came to Earth in the 50s or some shit, and that's where Henry got connected to the entity, right? So where's the research that Papa should have came to Hawkins looking for that shard? That's what this should have been. And then he somehow finds out that Henry's the one that got the shard, which is why he starts studying him in the first place to connect this stuff and be like, oh, okay. And that would make, but again, they were just throwing stuff at you for some spinoffs, I guess they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But that would make this make some kind of sense. And then if you're going to introduce this other entity as a separate creature, like you said, why is it not talking? Why are we not interacting direct? Like once Henry's dead, why doesn't it try to recruit 11 or somebody else or something? They made it seem like if you kill Henry, you kill the other thing.
My question
but don't they have like spinoffs coming? From what they were saying. One. Yeah, but I mean, but couldn't they kind of like put that in into the new one? I mean, no. I just wanted to say something too about what Chris was saying about the Broadway show. I really, that did throw me off a little bit because I love Broadway. You guys know that. But I was kind of like, when they kept, people were recapping it and they kept saying this stuff about Broadway, and like pieces of the show didn't show. There was pieces of the show that had to relate to the Broadway show. Why did they do that? Because not everybody, like, goes on to Broadway shows, and I didn't even realize what Chris was saying. There's only in 2 spots you can go see it. So why would you write it that way? Like, I mean, there is an app that you can get, right, and you can see all the Broadway shows or any kind of theater you want to see. You can do that, but you have to pay for it, right? It's expensive. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think that the audience was thinking that way. Like, before I watch the actual ending to Stranger Things, let me go and go to Broadway.
Kim, to your point, I thought it was I thought like, because every time I would see clips from the show, it looked like it was a professional video of it, and then it made me think, just like you can watch Hamilton on Disney Plus and right and like Nutcracker and stuff like that. I thought like maybe if I could search for it, and find it and just like watch it.
You
like,
can, I think you can on the app that I'm talking. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
But then
are you talking about
the name
Marquette?
of it.
Is there, or is it
There
Marquee?
is-
Marquee, I think it's called.
I think that is it. It's something I know, but you do have to pay for it, and it is not cheap. Like
Okay.
you know, it's
Yeah.
to me, I felt like that was they shouldn't have done that. If
Yeah.
you're gonna write a story,
Yeah.
for Netflix or whatever, put everything that you're supposed to put in it. Don't rely on the Broadway show or whatever show you have out there, because I don't think that's fair to the audience. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was their decision or Netflix was like, no, you got to chill out. We got a show.
Yeah,
I wonder who made that call. That's what I'm saying. You know, so I don't necessarily blame the brothers for it, but who knows?
Exactly, but it was a decision made by them and Netflix, maybe. But I don't think it was a good decision. I mean, when you really think about it, we got teenagers watching this, teenagers and up, because even older people are watching this, right? Because it's a good story. So we're not going to theaters like that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was unfair. I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but I just thought that part was unfair. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, move on, guys. Sorry.
No, Kim. Look, well, to your point of again, trying to shove new content at the end of your series is not smart, because then you just bring up too many questions. The separate entity of the Mind Flayer is a new topic. The Shard is a new topic, and it's like, what? And then we're just supposed to just accept this and then keep it moving. When if this was a plan, then you would have put those breadcrumbs in the beginning, and it's like you should be reinforcing what was in season 1, not adding stuff to season 5 that we got to go, like I said, watch a Broadway play to even get a hold of.
Right.
And that also Henry didn't spit out the black smoke or anything when Joyce killed him. To be consistent, if he was, but also I thought with that they were gonna do a Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker thing.
And him being good or something,
right? Like I turned him to the good side. I was like, please don't. Like I thought he was gonna be like, it's like, you saved me.
He took his hand off. He took his hand was taken off. I'm like, oh, here comes some Star Wars.
I was ready for it. I was ready for it. And then when he was confronting 11, I thought at some point, since he got into her mind and he's able to do that, I thought he was going to be like, you're no better than I am. Like, you know how many people you just murdered and how you broke their bones? Like, so like me and you got a lot in common. Like, I thought that would like kind of extend that kind of the conflict between the two of them. Like, you're no better than me. And she's like, no, I did it for this and that kind of stuff. But that psychology stuff he's supposed to be doing, I thought that would have been a better way to tie that up. And with that, I want to say Henry going into the real world to trick Hop into breaking Elle out of the chamber was awesome. Like, this whole thing that he feeds on fear and that kind of stuff. Like, the fact that he used Hopper's like fear of her being the one who killed his daughter, his guilt really over his daughter, and how he was awesome. However, we already know he can impact the real world himself. Like, he simply could just broke the thing open and pulled her out himself. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna do this whole convoluted thing, and it looked cool. But I'm like, you don't need to, right? You could have saved yourself some time and actually killed 11 while she's in the tube. And then
you said that's the real world, but that was the upside down. Though.
Yeah, that was the upside down.
Even more reason why he could have did it. Like, I'm saying, like if he physically went there. She said he's not here, right? When he left his house, when he just disappeared, when Kaylee tried to stab him, right? Kaylee tried to stab him. They're like, oh, he left. So he left to try to go get Elle. And I'm like, he could have just did it himself. I mean, but anyway, I just thought, again, they were trying to make it look pretty cool. The Duffer Brothers really expect fans to believe Henry / Vecna went to. Yeah, I was, what the fuck?
Everybody went to school with everybody. Everybody, like even it seemed like Steve's father even went there, because there's like Harrington. I'm like, wait, what? So everyone there's only one school that exists, I guess. I mean,
and their Wheelers were already like macking in the back. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense, bro. Like he was in that lab with Dr. Bernard the entire time, and that was the whole point. It makes no sense.
Well, no, so the Broadway show, apparently. Okay, see, and this is another thing, and there's another reason why the Broadway thing kind of messed it up a little bit. The Broadway show actually shows that Henry did go to the same school, and he was supposed to be in the play. He was supposed to be in the play that Joyce was doing, and then the night before the play was supposed to actually happen, that's when he gets taken as a child, like by or like when he's like 14 or something, by the labs. But then the show kind of contradicts itself because it shows him when he was much younger. Yeah, bro.
All right.
This is no. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying they try to throw stuff from the show in this, but from the Broadway show. But then it's like, and this is why I don't blame the brother. Something tells me that they were told to do this because certain things are just doesn't make any sense that they just picked random moments and then but nothing lined up. And it was like, oh, it's like y'all just kind of last minute just shoved some stuff in there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it seems like it was a corporate decision. I'll just say that.
Okay. All right. Episode was solid in my opinion. Love the Prince tracks. Purple Rain to end it was awesome.
Another song that scene was not deserved. I'm saying that song is so good that here's the problem. Here's the problem I had. I'm so glad you brought that up because the thing we always see between Mike and 11, if this season came right after like maybe the first 3 seasons, and then we had like that episode or whatever, all right. The problem is we spent the whole freaking 4th season them not even being together, and then when they were briefly together, he's like, wait, don't you want to introduce me to your friends? And then busted some girl because of the skip. Well, what was that? Who is that?
That's not me. I was on mute.
Hold on, I'll put myself on mute. No, what? No, it's not me either.
All right, go ahead, Chris. Go
ahead. Okay, all right. Damn, what was I saying? No,
it don't make any sense. There were no longer they
weren't really doing anything. Yeah, they weren't doing anything 4th season, and then this season we didn't see them up until the last maybe together until like the last two episodes, and then even then it was the last scene of of episode 6, and then they were separated again. So then them having this nice this little passionate kiss with Purple Rain playing, and I'm like thinking like, I don't know if y'all deserve this. This song is deserved for like Rachel and Ross at the end of Friends, maybe. You know what I mean? Right? Like they run each other like Purple Rain. Like I'm like that Rachel and Ross. Yes, this where you guys been separated for almost 3 freaking seasons. I don't know. I don't know.
So So now, so let's get into 11's story because and then overall. So her arc. Yes, Jamani.
All right, one more.
Whoa.
If the
Jamani, you gotta work on that mic, bro. Like you gotta work on your mic, man. There's something going on with you.
What's wrong with the mic?
Okay, you good now. You were loud in something, but before. All right, so okay, Jamani. So what do you want to say about 11's arc?
I had one more thing to say about the Henry thing. Like, so if these memories are supposed to be real places, I thought that at one point they would try to find out where the actual canyon or wherever Max was hiding at was in real life to see if the case was still there or, to actually go to that actual place in real life.
Yeah.
In Hawkins, but they never even attempted to do that.
And the landscape don't even match Hawkins. Like I was confused. I'm like, where is this? And then the cave is one place, and it took miles to accidentally fall into the mine shaft or whatever. Like I don't even understand how this geography works. Like we gotta let that slide. We gotta let that slide and be like, it is what they say it was. I'll say that. So 11, since we're talking about 11. So what do you think of 11's arc, Jamani? From Hopper to saving the day to did she die? Did she not die? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that if they really modeled the Hopper Jane story after The Last of Us, then we actually finally get a show where the girl actually makes the sacrifice for the betterment of the world or what have you, and the father is powerless to intervene. And if that's what happened, then I'm for it. And to the lesser extent, if she still does exist in like some sort of pocket dimension or something, then I think that's cool, but it really don't matter unless any of the what do you call it? Like the kids can contact her or have some sort of telepathic conversation or something with her, like she had with Mike at the end.
Or if they bring her back for one of the spinoffs.
No, they're not bringing her back for the spinoff.
Or a movie.
They said they're not even the spinoff is not even going to be on the continent. It's going to be in London. So,
oh wow,
they're not like it just has the only thing that is in the same realm of Stranger Things is the rock or whatever that Vecna found as a child or whatever. That has something to do with the spinoff, but
okay.
Yeah,
so you think
and that spinoff happens in the 90s too.
All right, so we will. So we'll go to Kim real quick. So Kim, what did you think of Eleven's overall arc in this movie?
Oh, I in this one or just the whole season?
No, this movie. This movie.
Oh, I thought she did really, really well. I mean, that girl is only 21 years old. I swear I didn't realize she was that young. I thought she would. I think the oldest one is Lucas. I think his name is the black
Luke.
Yeah.
Black dude.
He's like 28, I think. But everybody else is like in their early 20s. But I thought she did a really good job. I always like her. And I know she has like a contract with Netflix to do like Nora with
Nora Holmes.
Yeah,
Holmes.
I don't know if everybody watched that, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it. She did 2 of those. Yeah, it was really good. So I can see her in a different light, which is perfect. You know how sometimes you can't see an actor other than the character they played for so many years. Yeah. I see her, as a Sherlock Holmes sister very well. Like she's able to act where I don't see Elle at all. So but I thought she did really, really well. And the emotion when she had to talk to her dad Hopper and tell him, like I love you for taking care of me. I love you for being there for me. But you have to trust me and you have to let me go, which is every parent's nightmare. You don't want to hear that, but you have to hear it because you got to let your kids go. That's why you have them, so that they can grow up and then go out into the world and become great people, right? So I thought that that was really a great moment between her and her, dad. So I thought she did a great job. I really enjoyed her. I really did. And at the end, I'm still kind of confused, guys. I don't know whether she actually died for real or whether her sister actually just kind of pretended that what is that? What do they call it when she's not actually there?
She's Will says Mike says he wants to believe that Kali made tricked everyone and helped 11 escape as she's bleeding to death, and is his theory. And I was like, okay,
thank you.
I mean, I think that'll help him sleep at night because he's gonna miss her and he loves her. I mean, that's his first love, so he's gonna miss her, and it makes him. I think it'll make him a better writer, more imagination. You know what I mean? Like he can write through his feelings. I'm thinking so. I choose to believe she's somewhere, and like I said, being loved and cared for, and everything she deserved in this world that she never got. So, well, I mean, she did get. I'm sorry, she did get it from Hopper, and she did get it from the group of children. But I'm just saying, like when she was younger, she never got those things, and it's important that you get them when you're little. But you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, I loved her. I thought she was great.
Yeah. And do you believe Callie's still alive?
The sister?
Yes.
Nah. I think she was alive for the moment that I'm thinking that she helped Elle, but she's probably dead now, because she was in the explosion. Yeah. So I don't know.
And I think, well, Jamani. So what I know we already talked about this, but what's your thoughts on the L arc? And sister, we'll throw her in with this.
Yeah, I'm like I think that as far as the illusion goes, yeah, I think that the sister did the illusion, which allowed her to talk to Mike. Although 11 typically, puts that blindfold on to talk to people in their minds or whatever. There was none of that. So there's like doubt on so many different levels. I'm like, you were saying that you don't think that Callie stayed alive or would have probably bled out or whatever. But stranger things have happened.
That was a good one.
That's a good one. I like that. That was good,
Jamani. The Duffer also said 11 was not supposed to live past season 1, so we knew that they were going to find a way to write her off. I don't think Elle made it until someone mentioned how she was in the void with Mike. How she had to be blindfolded or submerged. So these, I feel, so this is where Jamani and I were talking that this is more like Inception. I think the Duffers wanted to give us that Inception type of ending where you can believe what you want to believe, that there's evidence that she died and I'm on that side. And as Mike said, I want to believe that this is how the story goes. Her story went, and all of them said, I want to believe it also. And there's no evidence that it helps them go past. It helps them get past it. And you got to think that Hopper said, we can move on. Babe, let's get married. Let's have a life. We can leave now. There's nothing keeping him there, which means in his heart, his daughter's gone, both of them. And the children, her children are grown and moved on. And he's like, we can start a new life and go somewhere else. So I don't want to, but I'm on the side that she's on the good side of heaven. What's up, Mike? What's up, Chris?
Yeah, no, I think. Well, I'm gonna start by saying 11 did have a really good arc from season 1 to now. All she she was all alone in the beginning, and she learned about the concept of friends and loved ones and whatnot, and they kind of see how all these people were protecting her, from the boys to Hopper to even Joyce, protecting her to her being the one to protect, to save everyone, essentially. I thought that was really good. However, she did. She's dead. Okay. For some reason, okay, I hear you what you're saying about the blindfold thing. I mean, but let's not pretend like we haven't seen where, in movies where people have a certain power and then it's okay or whatever, but it's not till the end, or all of a sudden my power is magnified to greatly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know what I mean? Even Mike didn't even know at first how to like when they said, "Can you control Vecna?" And he's like, "I don't know if I can do that." And then all of a sudden he could. You know what I mean? I think I think there's too many other evidences that she's dead for me to think. For one, Callie, right? For starters, she was bleeding the F out, right? So from the moment, because it wasn't until I watched it the second time, the moment when she's bleeding to death,
right?
And then the fight scene they had with the big old kaiju of the that was that had to be like hours or whatever. So you're telling them, so she's bleeding the F out. I don't know. She was, maybe someone stuck a plug in there and then she was able to
by herself.
Well,
by herself.
That,
she was by herself, and she's like, I'm gonna hold this together, and I'm not even gonna assist with the final fight with my brother, which is why I'm there in the first place. She's like, I'm just gonna hold out until 11 might need.
There's two more things though too.
Okay, guys, I was just hoping that she was alive.
No, Kim, this is
I know.
It's
good. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Duffers. I think as one of the commenters just mentioned that the brothers didn't intend this show to go past season 1, and 11 wasn't supposed survived past season 1, which is why at the end, I guess after the popularity, they filmed another scene of Hopper putting like the whole ego thing, the whole ego scene. You know what I mean? You know, but you notice they didn't show her. You know what I mean? Because she wasn't supposed to come back, right?
Oh yeah.
What they did in this, I think what they try to do is I can only imagine that there was probably a lot of discussion like, yo, we can't just kill her off, whatever. I feel like they did not want to really piss off the fans. So, and like make people so freaking angry, right? Because, people were angry about Eddie, right? And Eddie was only there just for 1 season. You know what I mean? Just 1 season. And people were pissed, being like, he better make a cameo in season 5. I'm one of them. I wish he at least kind of came into memory, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe not, but whatever. I'll talk about that later. But in this one, I was thinking like, no, they want to kill her off, but then they had to throw the coping mechanism for Mike, and Mike is also the fans. You know what I mean? Because for one, let's be real. Like, not only did I say the thing about her bleeding out, right? But then you talk about the blindfold, but you also got to remember, and Callie has to do a whole meditating thing. She always has to meditate, and she said, she wasn't in no state to do that, for one. And then finally, the biggest nail in the coffin is,
if you will, is when the thing exploded. What was the first thing to get to explode? It was the lab where Kylie was. That was the first thing to go. So then that went, and then somehow, even though she basically disintegrated, the image of Elle was still there. You know what I mean? As she's still looking at the other way. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It just don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to mention, let's be real. When we saw Mike is looking aimlessly at the building as Hopper had to come back in. So my thing is, if that really happened, right? If that really happened, then I think Hopper's discussion with Mike would have been a little bit different. Because if anything, Hopper would have been the one to know more than anyone, because Hopper was there with the 2 girls. You know what I mean? So, so unless there was like off camera thing that Mike and 11 had in the void or whatnot, I think she's just gone, and it was just like kind of more of just saying like, this is what I would like to believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ironically enough, she was in front of 2 waterfalls, not 3. I don't know. Did y'all? I was trying to see those 3 waterfalls.
Well, they said that there was 3, but the way that the camera panned around, or the
you
drone,
only saw 2 in front of her.
You only saw 2, but there was another one
when she was walking.
They shot. They shot it in New Zealand, and it's really 3 waterfalls at that spot.
Did they run out of CGI money with the big to not put another waterfall?
The kaiju, it was the budget, bro. They shot the budget on the kaiju. They were like, shit, we gotta go to New Zealand. They got New Zealand money. Real quick,
beautiful too. Oh, gorgeous.
Team 11 is alive. I think that 11's dead again. Died again. Yeah, they did a great job of saying whatever you want to believe is what you want to believe, and we go back and forth. Not to be redundant. The 2 speeches with Hopper, Kim, that you brought up, I thought both of them were excellent, because I thought Hopper was trying to tell Elle, fight for the life that you could have after this, and her speech was, I'm fighting for the life I already had. I already had a great life because of you and because of them. And if I don't come back, it's all right. Like I did have a good life. And for her to like, you need to believe in me. Like I need you to be like, I can do this, right? At first I was happy they didn't show it, and now I'm wrong. I wanted to see her jump. When she's like, I can jump across these things. Like, that should have been the last time he sees her, because that is the last time he sees her, right?
Yeah.
If he's like, that's my baby, like she's on her way, right? And then when you see her again, she's knocking out the kaiju, you know what I'm saying? Like some Marvel shit, right? And then that's there, like she's at her peak of like, this is where I was supposed to be. To your point, I don't need the bath anymore. I can do this stuff on my own. And that's was like when she jumped. Like when she jumped into the kaiju and like ripped that shit
crazy.
I was like, this is a movie. Like this is like, I should have been in theaters to see this. Like I was like, this is the whole.
And actually, you could kind of see the harness, like the way that she jumped. I could see the harness lifting her. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, girl, they paid you some good money to do that.
I mean, it was it was so epic to see her be
Yeah.
like, now it's me and you, Henry, you know. And
Yeah, I felt like I
thought,
was watching like a Marvel or
yes,
DC Comics movie.
it like you said,
for that. Yeah.
like Chris said, this is not what this started out to be. Like this turned into
Yeah.
like a superhero movie because the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
team came up with a plan. It was the Avengers sitting around like, all right, Hawkeye, you go over there, and Black Widow, you go over there, and we're gonna wait for Hulk to show up because we ain't really doing shit. So we're gonna wait for the big boys to show up, and that's what it felt like. Everybody was kind of just like doing stuff, right?
Oh, I like that. I like when I think it was Robin who said who's gonna be the victim or whatever.
Yeah, debate.
And Nancy was like, "I'll do it." I was like,
And
"You go, girl."
Right?
Go
She was
ahead.
like, I got this. And I'm like, and then
Yeah.
like, no, and that's the same thing that Eddie said. I think that's what he said about her when Steve was lost in the Upside
Mhm.
Down. He was like, you
Mhm.
realize that when she heard you were there, she went in like without hesitation. And at that
Yeah.
point, I guess they were trying to put them together, like that was love, you know, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So and then so Kylie deserves an apology. Like I saw a meme that says that like we owe her a big apology because we
save
did.
those kids.
Because she saved the kids, but she was right. She was like, you and I should not come back from this because it's not going to end for us unless we are dead. That she stayed to that, and in the end, she was right. And 11
Yeah, she was
saw
right.
that, right? She was like, that's my sister told me the whole time. I just felt she should have died fighting Henry. She should have made it to that point, and or she comes back like Richie or some shit. And like and helps like
give the middle finger.
like this, like oh no, Eddie, if some like if they want to do something right, if they would
That
have
would have been
somehow
good.
brought
Yeah,
her,
Eddie.
like,
Yeah.
that would have been but like
and then Eddie is the one that says, "Suck my fat one," instead
right,
of
yeah,
Dad.
yeah, I don't know this. But I'm just saying, like she should have made she don't make it out, but she helps her sister, like she helps save her sister from Henry, and she takes down the brother like she said she was going to. And then 11 is like, oh shit, like she sacrificed herself. I can sacrifice myself, and it's for the greater good for everybody. I just you know, because without
what doesn't make sense to me is if she can if she closes the portal like when she was in Russia or what have you, right?
Mm.
She could have closed that portal when she was on the other side of it, and you know the military wouldn't have been able to get her. She'd have just been in the Upside Down by herself with Callie. I'm like, what was the purpose of we have to blow it up? As long as we seal it off, you're safe. It didn't make it in Dr. K not trying to go in and pull her out didn't make any sense either.
I thought I was the only one who said that. Like, this is the dumbest shit. Like that moment was beautiful. Her having her moment with Mike was beautiful. Like it's you know, it comes again, like you said though, they haven't really been together. But she's like, one last time, I talked to Hopper. I need to talk to Mike because I ain't coming back from this, and I want him to know that I care for him. But yeah, Dr. K should have ran in there with some troops, and she waits for them to get there. And then she takes them out because we have to know that realistically, if I may, General K is going to torture those children and those adults to figure out what happened to 11, where she is. She ain't just gonna pack up and go home like that. Like that's
well. That I have a question about that too because they don't show any of that. They just cut to black and then they come back and it's graduation day. So
no consequences. Nancy's not in jail.
We definitely
Nancy's not in jail for shooting all those military folks in the previous episode.
We definitely saw Nancy shoot military people.
Yes, and Hopper. And Hopper.
And Hopper, yep. So, and Hopper gets his job back somehow, even though he was in Russia for I don't know how many years. You know what I mean?
Sheriff, and I'm like, I don't.
And Max gets to graduate. Well, you know what? No, I think they have books in Henry's mind, so maybe
in coma. She was in a coma. She graduates on time.
Yeah, like, those books. She read some encyclopedias in Henry's mind.
Right. That part didn't make sense to me. If I don't understand that part. Like it was a whole big gap.
Yes,
where you're pulling these kids, you're arresting these kids, you're doing all these things, and as soon as the world has been blown up, the upside down world is gone. Then you fade to black, and now everything is peachy keen. The kids are graduating, everything's cool, and the young adults are like, "Oh, we'll meet up every month," which everybody that's BS. We all tell our friends that we grew up with. Well, we'll meet, we'll see each other, and then life gets in the way and you don't see them. But still, I thought that was a touching moment. But I just thought that was a huge gap for me. Like, these people should have been tortured, locked up, something, and nothing happened to them. So are we to believe like this was a dream? Like this never happened? Like what happened?
You gotta go with, this is up there with E.T. Like which was just kind of like, where it's like the government just says, hey, our bad, you know how it was, and we just leave and we just call it a day.
You know how it was.
we gotta that's why they faded to black, because they're like, we ain't got time or the energy to talk about the realistic stuff that should have happened to clean this mess up. But they're like, we just gotta skip forward.
Too, remember, they were pregnant women who were dying.
They all died.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Their lives were lost.
Well,
over and over and over and over again.
So we got to compare what the public knows and what the private knows. Like, for example, as I chatted to y'all, Nancy and Dustin and all of them should be facing felony charges for kidnapping, drugging, and fucking tying up Derek's family, who are still tied up in that barn. I mean, because no one
are they still alive? I mean, that was a lot of poison. I'm just saying, like, and then the house got fucked up, and they all know who did it. Like, Derek knows who did it. Like, these are felonies. Like, they should be in jail right now. It's like, but somehow we just and you kidnapped my son. You kidnapped my son on top of everything else.
I was like, I'm like, what is? None of this is discussed. But hold up. So anyway, I thought, So okay, so let's talk big story. Like Mike, I want to do Mike and the crew like post things. Because I do want to start with Dustin. Because do you think Dustin and Susie broke up?
After the way he talked to that girl, like afterwards, that's why I was like, oh snap, him and Susie is no longer a thing. You know,
I was disappointed. First, let me say positive.
Okay.
We talked about this in the last review. Like we said, they need to do a Harry Potter type thing where they show us after, like, what the future looks like, right? And I like the fact that they kept the actors as they were. They didn't try to put like older prosthetics on them like they did in Harry Potter, because that looked really silly. So like they kept them looking like themselves. But I thought I wanted Dustin to end up with Susie. Like it just for that, to show progression in the character. Like, I didn't need 3 scenes of him and Steve together. Like, we get it. Like, Steve made it, they're friends, but they had like 3 scenes of like Steve with him, Steve with the friends, and then Steve picking them up for college. I'm like, you're doing too much. Let Dustin grow up and get a woman, and the woman that we saw. That's why I would have wanted for Dustin. You know, for him.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I will say Dustin's probably had the best speech. I thought that was an amazing speech.
Yeah.
And then the way he ended it, which was a nice throwback to what Eddie was saying.
I saw that in the post.
Yeah, in season 4, was saying like, I'm gonna walk up to the principal, take that degree, and so I was like, oh snap, okay, the Hellfire does still live, I was also looking forward to him and Susie or whatnot. I don't know if it was the same thing with that was going on with the Argyle character, the pizza dude or whatever, who just refused to come back. He just didn't want to come back. So I don't know. Maybe that was the same thing with her. I don't know. That would have been great just to see her. So I was a little disappointed in that. But I thought I did like his ending. I mean, I particularly like Steve's ending though. I think Steve's ending was really cool because he wasn't, there was nothing else he was going to be except like tutoring or coaching kids. That's exactly what he was going to do with the baseball bat and all, because that's how we were introduced with him, with a baseball bat, and sure enough, he's teaching kids how to use a goddamn baseball bat. You know what I mean? And Derek is like a good friend of his now, apparently. Even though I don't know, Derek was weird in that the van. He was like waving to Mike, and Mike was like, "Hey," like I don't know. Well, what was that about? I was
Holly.
So confused.
Holly. I think somehow they're trying to connect that to Holly. I think it's like that's your sister. I think that's what they were trying to do. I think. Because then I think
your sister's hot type deal, or
no, well, they ended up in the D&D table and stuff. So like I think they were trying to be like, we're friends now, some shit, like hey, I'm Derek, like I'm the one that was helped y'all with this, maybe you know what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking. That was my thought on that.
Yeah.
But with Mike, like I thought, I loved the idea of them kind of ending where they began, sitting around playing D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Now Max is there, like she's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Her book should have been smaller. Let's be real. Her book should have been much smaller. She was still asking so many questions. I'm like, girl, this is your first day. Like,
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Can I say something about? That was the one I was. That was probably one of the scenes that I was like, this is the most unbelievable thing like that. Because I'm like, you're a friend. You come over to my crib. Just because the game ain't going your way, that don't mean you could trash my whole basement. She just started throwing stuff and everything, and I was just like,
"Yeah, okay, all right,
yeah, you doing a little bit too much."
Yeah, this ain't Lucas's house. Like you need to calm that down. It was like
I think they're trying to show that she's kind of similar to Billy in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Oh,
that she kind of emulates some of the stuff that Billy was doing. You know what I mean? So, so that was, so I think that's what that was in a way, but now I think it would have been better. No offense to Max, but maybe she gets frustrated and then she just decides to leave, and then it's the core four that's just there. You know what I mean? Who was there in the very beginning? Well, Mike, Will, look. She kind of threw it off a little bit for me, not that much because Max is still OG. You know,
but she ain't day one though. But she's
not day one. You know what I mean? But it just that was
supposed to be day one. Like I feel I hear you. They went too far. It should have been the boys one last time, and then Max. Hey, baby, you ready to go? And he's like, yeah, let's, I got a life, so we got.
If you put Max there, you have to have Erica there then too.
No, Erica. This is where we get to. Erica should have been the next class. Yes. Erica should have been leading Holly and Derek and those crew down there because now she's the new Hellfire leader. Mm-hmm. She's still in school. Like she's probably probably middle school, but maybe going to high school. But that's her role. Like I felt that would have been a better show her maturity. And I got this. Like you guys go up there and I got these kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would have been a better to be like, and then then Lucas can look. There's my sister. Mike can look back and it's like, yeah. And then and then they go on. I thought that would have been a better.
At least definitely did make sense to have Holly there because when did Vecna get them into Dungeons and Dragons? Like
I don't even no.
These people aren't even friends.
Go ahead, Chris.
You mean what Holly wanted to play? So
no, all of them together, like unless
at the end, yeah.
Oh, well, when you're going through a traumatic event like that, I don't know.
No. But I'm saying if it was Holly, like, hey guys, let's go do this. Like, we went through this thing together. We've been talking, so it's her teaching them the game. And again, Erica's kind of there to be like, hey guys, let's do this. Now it makes sense. But they sat around like, oh, this is my book, and we've been doing this for months or something. I'm like, no, you haven't.
No. Rewatch it, and actually, and then it would help to have the subtitles on. Because I don't know if it's just them talking so fast. They're young kids. Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But if you rewatch, if you rewatch it, the words they were saying is the other girl with the glasses was saying like, "How do we play this again?" And then she said, "Oh no." And then he says that, "Oh, here's the instruction manual. The instruction manual is right here." Okay. So I think Holly said that. Holly said,
"Yeah, she did. She did."
But she only got interested. If you remember, she got interested only after she talked with Mike in the hospital after I guess when Mike gave her that little Holly, the heroic Holly, Holly the heroic or whatever.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
she knew nothing about like the whole thing. And then I think I wish they did a better job kind of, I guess, connecting it, but I caught it, but it wasn't, I could see how a lot of people were like, where did this come from? But I think it was a correlation of Mike basically kind of saying, hey, she's awesome. You know what I mean? Boom. And then like, this is for you. I was going to find another time to give it to you. And then maybe that was the thing where she was like, damn, okay, now I got it. Now I got to look into it. Like my brother and his geeky friends saved the freaking world. Like, but that's because of D&D, and that's where, maybe I need to figure out what D&D is. Like,
and that's where I felt like Erica would have been a good bridge between the two groups. Even though we never see them on camera, but 18 months, what I'm saying. Oh, anyway, and those kids were almost babies in the flashbacks. Couldn't believe that's where we started. I mean, I remember I watched the Honest trailer, and they were like, a show that started during the Obama administration is about to wrap up. I was like, oh shit. I was like, we've been in this game for a while. okay, now me and my mom and my sister are debating how many times they say the fuck word. I say one time or more. I remember shit being a problem for me. Like it was a lot of shit going on. And I was like, I was irritated. But in the flashbacks, I watched a like a montage of Erica scenes. And it was like shit was popping up and that, but they concentrated a lot of shit, like, if you will, in this last batch of episodes. And I didn't think that was appropriate. For Presidents, can you address the other question? Okay, hold on. I need another question. Please restate the question, and we'll do our best to address. I did say that. Is he talking about? No, is that true? No. So, stop gaming. Please give me the question again, and we will address it. I'm sorry if we didn't do that. To move on to like the future for the kids. All right. So again, I thought the graduation scene was only really good for Dustin, because again, he was trying to do what Eddie wanted him to do. So they kind of could have cut that down a little bit, but I saw they were going to do that. The D&D scene was awesome. Mike telling the future of what's going to happen to the players, like what's going to happen to these people. It was logical that Lucas and Max were going to be together. Obviously, they still have a future. I kind of wanted them to get engaged. I need to see progression, right? Like them kissing in a movie theater. You know, like that's what you would do. You're like, to put a ring would show progression for them. That's what I would, that's to me. I mean, at their age, like going into college, I think that would have been good.
How far in the future was this though? How far in the future?
Yeah, I know that's what I'm asking.
It didn't like it seemed, he said this is what's going to happen, but it seemed like it was also kind of showing what's already kind of happening already. You know what I mean? Because Will didn't look like he was that much older when he was going to, like, I guess a gay bar or something. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It didn't look like there was like.
Somebody brought that up too. You going to 18? Like we thought he was at least 20. You know what I'm saying? To be like, to be like, to like 20 or 21. Like they may have used the same actors, but I'm feeling this is at least a couple of years. Like Dustin's I'm not saying they're getting married. I'm saying if they're graduating high school, they gotta make a call, right? Like, are we going together? Are you going to your own school? And it's like, hey, let's, maybe we can be something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like just to show them kissing in a movie theater is pointless. Like we know they're gonna be together. That doesn't tell me anything about progression. Like Hopper and Joyce got married. That's progression, right? Like right. I need, like
that looked like that was like next week though. That didn't even look like it was like that far in the future either. I don't know. I mean,
but again, maybe because they use the same actors, but they're trying to show that even Mike. That's to me. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to see a little bit more a commitment, not like
a baby bump.
The only thing they seemed like there was a change was Mike all of a sudden wearing glasses, and for some reason I don't know why, but I was expecting him to be like, I got to think it's like, yeah, now I'm writing stuff, you know what I mean? Because now he dealt with his horror, and I was thinking like, is he going to change his name? He was like, call me King. Stephen King.
Hey,
like it wasn't the 80s, and that's when Stephen King, right when he was like, at that age, he was like,
I wanted, if we're gonna do Mike, I wanted him to write a book called Stranger Things. He said,
I was thinking he was gonna do that. I was like, he better not write it. You know what I mean? No, but like, I was like,
but he was like, I want to tell our story, right? Like, I'm like, you're writing, you're gonna document this. Like, this happened, but I'm gonna change the names. I was like, if he would have that would have been like the ultimate for me. But anyway, so Giovanni, overall, everybody's future. What did you think about it? Was it appropriate? Is there any changes you would like to have made?
I thought it was just generic. Like it was like, yeah, it wasn't like anything surprising. It was like, yeah, this is what, like if you were writing in somebody's yearbook, most likely to be doing, and it's like what you're doing right now.
Well, okay, so to that, I would say, okay, anyway, Kim, well, what do you think about the future projections of the cast?
I thought they were spot on. I mean, the adults that were up on the roof, like I said, they were trying to pretend to me like they were gonna try to get together. It's not gonna happen because life is gonna get in the way, and they may do it for the first year of being apart, and then after a while, life is going to get in the way and they're going to stop seeing each other. They may still call each other, especially the girls, but so I thought that was appropriate. And I thought that Lucas and Max being together, I didn't feel like they needed to be engaged, but I do feel like, yeah, they're gonna be an item. But sometimes when you're 18, it's a little too you haven't explored dating
Life
really.
enough.
Life enough to be getting engaged, I think. So I think that them in the movie theater kissing or whatever, that was fine for me. They're together, and we'll see. Maybe they get married, or maybe they don't. And I don't feel like they dated enough other people where they should be like making a commitment with each other. And then
I hear you. Normally I would agree, but that girl was in a freaking coma for 2 years, and he was at.
I mean, she
was. You marry that dude. I don't care if you were a virgin, you never been with nobody. That if you don't marry that man, if Tyler Perry don't create
you don't have to marry him, but you could have him in your life for the rest of your life. Why not?
So just friend zoning?
What?
You gonna
He's the
friend
reason
zone?
you got a life.
That's
this
worse.
man almost died for you a couple of times.
And that's the reason you get married to him.
Obviously, no, I hear you. But I mean, we can say we see movies with less background when people got married, got kids. But anyway, hold up real quick. About a spinoff with Derek, I wonder and Holly, or if Vecna / Mind Flayer actually won the ending of season 5 is a lie. So there's no spinoff with Derek and Holly. That right now, that's not what I'm hearing, and I don't think they're gonna do that. Vecna, as we said, Henry's dead. That's a fact. Mind Flayer is supposed to just not be dead. Like, he's supposed to be dead, but it should have been killed separately. But they're both defeated. I clearly, but Mind Flayer should have had a little bit more fight in it by itself. And I personally feel that the 11 is the ending is a lie, to the sense that 11 is dead. Like, what Mike said was what he thought happened. He didn't even hear about the story about how the sister got shot. Somehow Hopper must have told him that off camera, and he was just making up. To me, he's a storyteller, and he was telling a story that I want to believe this,
right.
and everyone said, I want to believe, and that's how they left it. That's how
because that's what Dungeon Masters do. Dungeon Masters create like just random scenarios that you're like just sometimes off the wall. And and he's always been. That's why he's always in Strange Things. He's always selected as that, because he came up with the best stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wasn't mad at them doing that. But then I also knew, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing. They know the fans are gonna be pissed if they don't at least have a little thing, or at least my thing is, if y'all gonna make it where she was alive, y'all. I don't know. They should have done a little Ego thing again. I think, like at the end, a little Ego, like a half-bitten Ego. Right by like not Will, Mike or Hopper or something like that, but
they did that Echo, didn't they do like they did the feedback, right? Remember at the graduation, and Mike heard the feedback in the speaker, and it sounded similar to like the up down world or whatever. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah, and I thought that's where she was going to come back. I thought,
Well, I think that was like a signal that she's okay. Like, that's what I felt like. That's what it was. Yeah.
But then I don't know. I think that's just him kind of wanting. Like, yeah.
I mean,
like from now on, anytime he hears that, he's like,
my baby.
I was actually, he froze. Like, he was frozen. I was like, what?
Right.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the lights, because the lights was always the thing, like with Will, and then even in last season when they were trying to talk to the Upside Down, they were using lights. And we talked about that in the last review. Like, if she's stuck in some kind of realm or the other side, that she can just let them know, I'm here if you need me, but I just can't be there. We thought, which is better, Stranger Things or Welcome to Derry? It's not a fair.
Kind of started. That's
you can't really do that. It's too, yeah.
I will say this: Welcome to Derry is. It probably has the best potential as far as series goes. And the reason why I say that is, and one of the critiques I always had with Stranger Things is that Stranger Things in the beginning, one of the reasons why I started loving Stranger Things is because someone told me, like, yo, there's a new show. And it was basically, it's like watching Goonies or that Steven Spielberg movie, 8mm, where like it took place in a certain time and whatnot. And then like, even from the theme song, like they got like the broken reel, whatever, with the like simple 80s music, like Tron. And I love the 80s references, and it was just like literally like you said, E.T. meets Goonies and all the stuff that you remember as the 80s and whatnot. And then the kid innocence of everything, and then this mysterious kid in the woods who all of a sudden is able to lift everyone up like straight up on ET style, and that's what I loved about it. But then you can only probably do that for so long, and especially with these kids freaking aging out. And that's where I think it kind of, at least for me, it kind of like it didn't have that same flair with it. But with Welcome to Derry, the great thing about Welcome to Derry is every season it stays fresh, right? Because every season is just new characters. So you don't have to worry about kids aging out, because guess what? You ain't gonna see them again. You know what I mean? So it's like they're 12 years old now, and God forbid there's another like pandemic or a writer strike again. You know what I mean? You know, which is why people kind of lost their shit in Welcome to Derry when it was like, oh, someone's been growing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, he was like, what? And I was like, oh snap! Like the nose was different, and, you know what I mean? Because a couple months went by, because you know kids grow rather fast as far as the face and, you know, length, everything. So anyway, so I would say if Welcome to Derry kind of keeps up the same path they're going, especially with, no offense to Vecna, but Pennywise is a better villain as well, I would say Welcome to Derry could be a better show than Stranger Things, but it's too early to tell. You know what I mean? It just, the show Derry just started, but it had a really strong start, but Stranger Things did too. So who knows?
But again, like you said, we're not going to follow the same characters from beginning to end. Like Richie. So it's not, you don't have that journey of 4 or 5 years with the same crew and see how they all come together. Like it was all
season 1 to season 1. Like Jonathan and Nancy, like I get it, like break up already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that went on for like 4 seasons.
Yeah. A little bit. It took, and then you comparing season 1 to season 1 is also not fair, because like they kind of started off again low level, and they're like, well, then we kind of build up, and then it wasn't built off 2 movies. Like Derry had something to build to, and then something to build on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, so that it has a lot more background, you know, to work with. We know. You know what I'm saying? That thing. The scene of them in the movie theater was a callback to the date that they planned in season 4 finale. All right. Do you know that was that was gay?
What?
That Will was gay. Oh, so thank you for this particular segue, because
don't do it.
In a positive, I'm gonna be
okay.
Considering that they addressed it again in this movie. Hey, Will, before this planet descends upon us, I'm sorry, bro, that I didn't acknowledge that maybe we had something, but not really, but we cool, right? I'm like, God damn it. Anyway, that being said, he should have been on a date, a legit hand-holding date. That's who I wanted to see in the theater. I wanted to see Will finally being himself. Actually, no, Jemima and I talked about this. I wanted to see Will show up to Hopper's and Joyce's new home with his boyfriend. That's what I wanted, because
but
this
all with him being in a gay bar.
That's nothing. That he said acceptance. He said I want my friends and family to accept me. That's what he was scared of.
But they did accept him when he came out to them.
If we do this 150 times, I want words and actions are 2 different things. And people have all been there when someone says I'll do it, and then when they're faced with it, they're kind of like, oh, well, maybe. If we're gonna go forward and show him trying to be who he is, you could just show. This is what got it. That's all.
You know, like I was fine with. Let me tell you why I was fine with the gay bar. That was to like him having a boyfriend, because the entire time Will is talking about how he doesn't feel accepted anywhere. Right. Matter of fact, was it season 3 where he got mad at everyone because everyone now had girlfriends and he still wanted to play D&D? He still wanted to play D&D, and he got pissed. Like Dustin had a girlfriend, you know, who lived several states away. You know what I mean? You know, obviously, you know about Will, and then Lucas, you know, and Max. You know, they had a complicated relationship, but they still had a little thing. He always felt like he didn't really have a place where he felt like kind of comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone kind of outgrew him, and he didn't have a place. Having a gay bar basically was kind of them basically saying he now has like a community. You know what I mean? Outside of just his core friends and his mom, he has a community now that they will accept him for him. You know what I mean? Which was the worry that he had when he had that big coming out speech. You know what I mean? Having just a boyfriend.
He was happy.
Yeah, he was happy. Yeah. Just having a boyfriend. I don't know if it would have been strong enough compared to everyone just looking at him like he's just like whatever, you know what I mean? Like he's just like a cool dude. Like you know what I mean? I don't.
And again,
for it to have gone your way, especially it being the 80s, it should have been like he walks into Cheers and they all say his name like he's Norm.
Everybody knows your name.
No, okay. To compromise, if he would have walked in and they would have been like he's with friends, he's with people that know. It's like he just looked up gay in San Francisco and was like, "Let me try this bar." And he was like, "Wow, I'm sitting in a gay bar." That's not community. Like
I don't think we need. If he already came out to his friends, I don't think that we need him to now present them with the boyfriend. He's already done this. He's already been accepted by his friends.
5 times they tried to dress this shit to be like, "I'm not afraid." Like that's not progression. Anyway,
it is progression. He's inside of a gay bar.
Yeah,
him. That's not progression. That is not walking into a bar. Get the fuck. That if he was faced with the situation, and we saw in Fellow Traveler, if you watch it, we're like, I'm ashamed to be there. Like, I don't want to be like he had the opportunity to this point, and like I don't want to be with those people. Like, some of there are gay people in Hawkins, and he like shied away from them, and then he went there. Then that's progression. That's where like that he's now comfortable with least being there. He just walked into a bar. What the? I just
and he sparked up conversation.
When you're walking into the bar, that took courage.
I mean, I don't seem like it to you, but like for someone who's that young, especially that young in the 80s, who like you don't do that. Like you don't want people to see you necessarily going to a gay bar or whatnot. So the fact that he did that meant that he was comfortable in himself to just do that. You know, I know. Yeah. See, you're looking in the eyes of someone where like you turn on TV and you see RuPaul's Drag Race, whatever, and all this other stuff. That's not what the case was back then. All right.
No, he should have been in a gay parade waving a flag, and then that would have showed, hey, he has a community.
Jomani.
How about this? If Dustin and Steve once again about to drive off into the sun. Robin, if he was with Robin, it's like, hey, like Robin is like out there. Then I'm like, okay, at least it's like the one gay person he came out with. He's like, hey, helped him come out to an extent, and it's like, hey, they're on something. I would be like, all right, it just seemed like a lot.
Just him and Robin, that's still low. That's lonely. Just one person. Like
they're going to the bar together. Like, again, like he's like, oh, hey, like she's more comfortable, obviously, with herself than than he was, and we don't know how far in the future like this actually was. We actually don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was immediate.
It's not immediate. Like fucking Dustin. No, they showed Dustin like in college. Like they progressed at some age. It wasn't just immediate. And again, we don't know. It was projecting in the future, especially with him. He was already in school, and then he's already on break or whatever. And then like so, there was some time jump in between the story. We don't know how much. And they didn't change the actors, so it's hard for us to gauge like how much time in the future. So it could have been anyway. That's all I'm saying. For as much effort they put into this shit, I wanted more than him walking to a bar. I don't need him getting married. That's not realistic. I don't need him catching HIV. I need something a little bit more solid. Even I don't need that.
What would you say last review?
Look, I'm just realistically, if he was with the blanket, and I know what the blanket means. If he was like celebrating the AIDS blanket in the 80s, remember when they put the AIDS blanket together?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like that's their civil rights movement, like in that community. And it was like that was a huge thing. But again,
that was in Washington, D.C., where they've spread out the blanket with the patches and stuff. David, it doesn't need to go that far.
I didn't say that.
Bar, and he was comfortable in there. He was smiling. He was talking to another man.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. I thought the gay bar conveyed.
You wanted him to have like a neon sign. I'm gay.
Yeah. You wanted him to do a full mouth kiss and kiss something like that.
With all that bullshit. With all that bullshit, yes. Well, all that bullshit, I needed something to be like, you're really gay now, because I didn't need it 4 times. I didn't need it 4 times in 2 episodes. I didn't need that. That was way too fucking much. And I'm like, so give me something to make it worth it. That's just me. A lot of the fans were mad about Mike and Will didn't happen.
It seemed like it was going to happen when they were up on the tower. He said, "Can we still be friends?" And what did Mike say? Mike says, "No, we're more than friends." And I was like,
right.
was like, we're more than friends. And I was like,
What? Like,
best friends. Okay.
I was
Best
like,
friends.
see, and I was like, are we finally gonna get this? Because I'm like, you've been doing this too much. And I was like, but nah. If
But I'm also thinking like, what 16, 17-year-old just be like, no, we're more than friends, we're best friends. That's something you say when you're like 11. Like,
nobody said that
Yeah,
shit.
but they're
Nobody said that.
nerds, and that's nerd talk. Nerds talk like that.
That's just weird, bro. Like that's like, yeah. I know.
oh, no.
But anyway, so other things that went on too long, that were unnecessary. Not just
Okay.
when Jonathan and Steve were talking after Jonathan saved Steve's life.
Yeah.
He saved his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we gotta have, hey man, I'm cool with you, right? I'm cool with you not being with Nancy, even though I'm not gonna be with Nancy. Neither one of us is gonna be with Nancy. But I just want to let you know we're cool, right? I'm like, that's what? Like, we know you're cool. Like, we got it. We don't need this bullshit. Like, what are we trying to wrap up right here? Like, I'm like, then we had the whole Titanic scene, which Chris got on Chris's nerves, and I understand that. But it's like Jonathan and Nancy worked their shit out. Done. Steve and Nancy worked their shit out last season. So I'm like, we got other things
But
to
why
get
was
into.
Steve and Dustin? That was long too.
And I said it was unnecessary.
Yeah,
we
it
got
was dragged out. And I was like, why and then we have to show him like they take a trip every break.
Yes.
I don't think we needed all that. Like,
thank you. Like, that's what I was like. It was too much, bro. Like, we get it. You guys are friends. Like, and then we saw Steve three times. He's a coach / teacher. Then he's one of the young adults trying to figure out what life is gonna be. Then he's taking Dustin on trips every day. Stop it. Like give somebody else some screen time. We don't need 3 feet. Stop it.
So
I was upset. What's up, Joanna?
So am I the only one that, like, when you see Steve falling off of the tower, Jonathan didn't look like he was anywhere near him to have grabbed his hand?
Absolutely, Giovanni. Absolutely. He was nowhere.
It was to the point where he said, just fade to black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had to fade to black so he can get there faster. Because that was a long break.
What is this?
I wonder if anyone who had Netflix that had the ads, I wonder if like you saw an ad during that. I wonder if that was like, that's what I want to know. If you had those little Netflix ad pay service thing where you don't pay for the premium, like, which I'm assuming we all kind of doing or whatever. If you got the random ad, that would have been a perfect ad placement. You just put an ad and you'd be like, no, what happened? Is he going to be saved? You know what I mean? And then, so yeah. No, I was thinking that too, though. I was like, he got there pretty damn fast, unless he tripped forward and then his hand just happened to be out as he tripped forward.
Like, nah, that's not how that works. But okay, real quick. What happened? I thought Robin and Vicky, those are the two who should have went on their date. Because Robin was like, as soon as we get done with this bullshit, I'm taking you to a nice restaurant. I need to show people I'm with you, because she's also in the closet. And it's like, hey, we're a happy couple. So I thought they're gonna get.
They should have been there at the same time Joyce and Hopper was at Enzo's, because they kept talking about Enzo's.
There you go. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Giovanni. They should have been together for that. I totally agree with that. I gotta agree the way that they shaped Will's secret with Vecna's control over him showed that he indeed is free and plays that and played that Diana Ross.
Oh yeah, I'm coming out. That's it. Yeah.
I was like, so I was just crazy. But no, let's again get back to this whole he feeds on fear thing. I'm not afraid of you anymore. None of this makes sense. Henry bent over backwards to make those kids happy, which I don't even understand. He already had them captured with tubes in their mouth, and he was like, "You want some music? You want some candy?" Like he spent a lot of time making these kids happy.
I think that was to keep them occupied and dumb, so that they don't know what was really happening to them.
They were already trapped. This is unnecessary.
Yeah, I know.
Max was trapped too, but she wasn't cooperative.
But I'm like, they need to.
I think that was just. It was just more so he was trying to humanize himself in front of the children to make them stay comfortable, even though yes, they were all trapped already.
What was his end goal? What was Vecna's? Well, like was he okay? Like for example, I know I don't like to always compare this to dairy, but you knew Pennywise just needed to feed. Like he wants to feed, and he just, you know what I mean. That was just something, he was the eater of worlds. Like that's just, you know what I mean. Vecna is like more of like, dude, you got your own world, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what he wanted.
Well,
like,
he wanted to merge the worlds
No.
together.
For what though? Like, it's like he would just turn it into what he has already. Like,
but again, they want you to believe that was the entity. The Mind Flayer wanted that, and he used Henry to make that, and somehow he convinced Henry that this was good for everybody. Is what, and so that was his plan. But he needed the children to like expand the power. So you understood why he needed the children. I don't understand if Will is constantly like he feeds on fear, and I couldn't fight him fully because I'm gay, and he's going to use that against me in this bullshit. I'm like, he didn't feed on the. It was consistent. Like, he don't give a damn these kids are happy. Like, they won't be alive in about 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't playing games like, hi, would you like to play with the ball? Like, Henry put a lot of effort to be like, come on, guys, you want to be here, don't you? And they're like, yeah, okay, we would. And I'm like, I thought you fed on fear. Like, Will, what are you talking about? Like, Will, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, what fear was? When did he ever go, you gay? And I was like, oh, that's right.
I know your secret.
I'm like, this. That was in it. Remember, that was in chapter 2. Like,
yes,
give me something for this to make sense. And like, it doesn't make any damn sense. And I'm like, why are you trying to turn him into Pennywise? He's not Pennywise. Like, that's not what he's doing or why he's doing it. So I was confused on that. We got
I feel like they probably got a lot of it really from like Freddy Krueger, which is why I guess Holly's friend or whatever, the other girl.
Oh, was watching Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, she watching Nightmare. Yeah, the 5th one. You know what I mean? So it seemed like, which makes sense too, is the 80s, you know, it takes place in the 80s, you know, but yeah, it just, I think unfortunately for Duffy Brothers that HBO just happened to have a show that came out that just happened to come out around the same time, a little bit earlier.
All these beats, so it's like now you're being compared to
it's yeah. I mean, because to be honest, I guess we would have just been comparing it really to like Freddy Krueger, really. You know what I mean? And then maybe one of us would be like, oh wait, remember, don't forget It chapter 1 and 2. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
Derry is like literally, it's like got these kids that we all love. They're all riding on bikes, and you know, it's all period pieces, and you know what I mean. It's
and they got it in by 8 episodes. Like we got the same story, and they still aged up. They still aged up. You're like, damn it, you're getting too old.
Right? Yeah.
Jonathan Mood. We got Jonathan Mood when Steven was holding on before he fell. When Will came out to his family and friends, I thought it was gonna be a trick of Vecna, and he was going to make Will think that they would judge him or shun him.
That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting.
That sounds like a Pennywise thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just really didn't go. That whole storyline just really didn't go anywhere. But Will was useful in the end. And as we were discussing anyway, so I thought that was a good for him. I wanted Hopper to die.
A really good job, and we didn't really talk about her. Was Holly?
Holly continued to be a leader.
Girl Holly, which her real name is Holly. I thought she did a really good job for her being as young as she is. Yeah. She did a really good job. Like, I really enjoyed seeing her, and I didn't remember that she was there from the very beginning. I did not remember that she has.
I don't think it's the same actress. I don't think it's the same actress.
No, it's not the same actress.
Okay,
no.
But Holly, the character, has always been there. She's always been the sibling.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that. I didn't remember it. Let's just say that.
Neither.
But then they gave her more of a role this last season, which I thought was really nice. And the young lady, she did a really good job. I thought she had fear. She was scared. She had humanity. Like she had all the different emotions. She was and I also like, what was that little fat boy's name?
Derek.
What was his name?
Derek.
I love Derek. I thought Derek was so crazy. He was so cute too.
He's gonna get a lot of roles after this. I already know he's gonna get a lot of roles. He should
because he is very funny, and then he's serious when he needs to be, and he's sad when he needs to be. But I thought he did a good job too. I really did. Yeah.
He should have been reunited with his family. And say not bad.
Yeah, true.
I mean, come on, like everybody got like, he should have been like, hey guys, I'm okay. Sorry you got kidnapped and drugged and shit. And Erica, she says she's sorry too. But like Erica also, to me, like him, like most, kind of like Holly, I paid little attention to Erica because she was just kind of in the background, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
this season they pushed them to the
They
forefront,
pushed her forward. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I
yeah.
thought they're like, because this is the next generation. Like we'll come back to Holly and Derek and crew, like because maybe mysterious things aren't done in Hawkins, you know, and they have to deal with it, like that sort of thing. I thought, you know, but I don't think at that point that's gonna happen. My favorite seasons in order are 3, 5, 4, 2, and 1. What's your favorite? Was it your favorite to least? I don't.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't. They're all.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I can't.
It's been a minute. I haven't watched the old seasons. I just watched this season, so I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you just try to think of like powerful scenes, and then you're like, for example, like, because part of me be like, oh yeah, season 4 was awesome because you got the whole thing with Eddie, and then you know, and then you got the whole thing with Max running, you know, and Kate Bush or whatever. But then you got to think back about Elle like lifting that freaking van out of nowhere when we discover her powers for the first time in season 1. So I don't know. Yeah. I would have to rewatch the show, which I might actually do. I might actually watch. Kind of
well, let's say Jamani binge. He recently binged the entire thing. So, do you have a favorite?
Let us know. What do you feel?
What do you think, Jamani? Do you have a favorite season?
Yeah, definitely season 4. Season 4 is undoubtedly the best, and then maybe season 3, aside from the whole Russia stuff, but you know, the whole mall dynamic. I thought that was pretty good in season 3. And season 3 was the season with Billy and so definitely season 3.
Yeah,
I thought the whole, you know, him turning into like a zombie type of thing or whatever, and the whole sauna scene that went down at the pool, that was great, and Karen trying to get with them and all. That was just a great season. 1 and 2. You know, like I could barely tell the two apart looking back on it. I guess, you know, it's like flip a coin for either one of those, but yeah, it'd probably be I'd probably say 5 would probably be in the last spot. But yeah, 4, 3, 1, 2, and then probably 5.
All right. Holly was 12 when they filmed season 5. Yeah, she was really impressive. She was. And again, they always play someone younger than their age, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, you got to kind of like remember that, you know. So you get,
for sure. But that's hard to do, right? I mean, to play. I mean, I know you've been that age. Like if you're 20 and you're trying to play 10, that's hard. You know what I mean? So she did a really good job.
Oh no. What I mean is like when you look at them and be like, this is where they're. You know, so this is where they're at. Like, again, until they said we're class of 89, I was like, aren't y'all still in middle school and shit? Like, I was confused. And I was like, no, they're 18 now. I was like, what? And I was like, oh, okay. And then
when you go back and you see how little they were, they were so little. Like, because a lot of these things are doing with AI, where they're showing them as little kids, and then they're taking the picture of them now. And then they flash onto the old picture, and it's like they were babies. So to look at them now, it's like, oh my gosh, like this has been quite a journey. Like half of their lives have been on this show. So,
and then and then as actor, we actually talk. Derek's family is probably dead. they were out the entire show. But you know, as hard as that would have been, if Derek would have returned and found the fact that Henry did actually kill his family, like he said he would, like that would have been like, oh, like that's what season 1 and 2 were like. Season 1 and 2 were probably the best for me because you didn't know anyone could have dropped anyone, and it wasn't until the plot armor got put on these characters that's kind of, it takes away from that, from like Game of Thrones, like first 2, 3, or 4 seasons where you're like, any of these fuckers can get it, you know what I'm saying? So don't get attached to anybody. And then it became, no, this is the core. Like this, they have to continue. So it's like, then you know the red shirts. Okay, like that's what Chris and I were talking when Eddie. He was like, "Hey, who do you think's gonna make?" And I was like, Eddie. He's new. He ain't got nobody. He ain't got no family. He ain't got no girl. Like Eddie's highly expendable. And
right, like, you know, it's just he was just introduced, and it's just like one of those things where people kind of gravitated towards him. Like it's similar to the dude who plays Samwise Gamgee in the Hobbit.
I said the guy from Game of Thrones. I obviously from the Hobbit. I know what you mean.
Hobbit, yeah. In season 2, we loved him.
Yeah.
Winona Ryder's boyfriend. Fiance, and then he was a great father figure to John and to Will. And then boom, and then that's why everyone.
Aston. Oh my gosh.
Him. Yeah. So
he was so good. He really was.
Right.
And then,
so it's. So when I remember seeing Eddie, I remember thinking about him, and I was like, "Crap!"
Yeah,
I was like, "Is he going to be the one?"
Hey,
he was.
That's when you look at Robin and be like, order of merit. You ain't season 1, so you expendable. We like you, but we don't like you. You know, so you could go.
No, but I'm like, in that case, it wouldn't necessarily be Robin. It would be Vicky, and I'm like,
yeah. But Robin has screen time though. We don't know Vicky.
We don't know Vicky. Something happened with Vicky. I was like, we'll feel sorry for Robin, but that's it.
Yeah. Robin, you got to be like.
But it's funny you brought that up because one of the interviews I saw with Duffy Brothers was one of the ideas that part of the cast members had or whatever was Maya actually talked about maybe she should die, at the end. And then they said no, like no, you're not gonna die, because she apparently thought like, oh well, wouldn't it be like I should die or whatnot, you know what I mean? Which I want to be honest, I'm not even opposed to her dying because for one, I hate to just say it, she didn't really do much for one, you know what I mean? Other than just like kind of have like funny one-liners, you know what I mean? For anytime crazy shit happened, But I did think that was interesting that even Maya Hawke was basically saying like, oh, maybe I should die, guys, and but they kind of turned that down, what I mean? So yeah,
her parents called and were like, we will burn.
So yeah. I bet no, it was probably Uma. Uma was like, oh hell no, that's my baby.
Hey, don't make that fuck you up.
Yeah, Ethan was probably like whatever. Ethan was like, look, I died twice this year, okay, in some different movies. I died twice. He's like,
did I say this? I feel like Hopper should have died. Did I say that? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you said in the last review.
So now after Hopper should have died, I reaffirm that of the family members, Hopper should have went because since season 3 when he gave himself up to close the portal, right? He went to Russia. Ever since then, he's been trying to die for 11. Ever since then, and I got tired. I'm like, why are you still here, bro? Because you keep on being like, I got this, and then you still here. No, you need to be in the ground next to your daughter and next to both of them and be like, you know what I'm saying? And be like, okay, now we got Sarah and 11 next to you, all 3 of you together. And then Joyce moves on and find another man. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, that wasn't her first choice. All right. Her man got killed. Don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? He was number 2.
And the man before that, she divorced him because he was a jerk.
That's right.
So yeah. So but I think that would be too on the nose. Like all Joyce's men, either they die or they're jerks. So
she's like, I gotta
let her get a happy ending with Hopper, right?
Did we say on camera that they should have moved to Derry? That would have been hey, a new sheriff position just opened up north. It's in Maine. It's a small town. Nothing really happens. I would have been like, hey, I mean, Will might want to visit every once in a while. I don't know. Maybe Mike and Will.
Oh yeah, Will was at Derry at one point.
You know what I'm saying? So like
some of the actors.
Well, Mike is actually, from what he said, he's going back to Derry. So we'll see him.
Oh, really?
Again.
In chapter 3.
Oh, well, look at that. Let's see. They gave Will the most badass true in season 5 control. And that's why I was like, he's gonna go next level. That's why I wanted him to take care of the mind flayer. If we're gonna separate Henry from the beast, let Will take care of the beast. Let him do that, right? And then 11 could take care of her brother. And then that would have been boss. Like that would have been like
if they had the Demogorgons and the Demodogs or whatnot.
It
could have been like a 1-2. It would have been like an Avenger style thing, where it's like maybe Will like Will's taking care of the Demogorgons and killing them, and and then I don't know. That was I just thought there was so much wasted stuff going on in that scene. It was just too fast. I guess that budget was just ridiculous. They're like, yo, this is expensive. You got 10 more minutes before we show some epilogue. Like,
well, you know what? I think the same thing with Game of Thrones and the Night King, because they said the same thing. Like, Night King got killed too quickly. But you got to remember the seasons on top of seasons that this character was coming down just wrecking shit. Like, we just didn't get introduced to Henry in this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like I said, he fought 11 already, like a couple of times. Like, this ain't the first time that they've dealt with each other. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, we need to wrap this up. We can't keep on dragging this crap out. In that sense, if you look at it holistically, then you're like, this is the final fight, but this ain't the first fight. You know what I'm saying? And it went on long enough that everybody kind of had a part. I think and we have.
I don't know, but if you're watching Rocky 2, like, you know what I mean? That fight went a little bit longer. You know, when Rocky's getting his revenge on Apollo Creed. And no one would ever say, like, dude, we saw y'all fight. Like, no, people who love, I don't know. I hear what you're saying. Yes, they fought before, but like they could have been like, oh, I learned a few things or two. You know what I mean?
Well, they both so wait a minute. What they both said that, right? That's what Henry said. You're stronger, but so am I. But the problem is we didn't see the OP. We didn't necessarily see like, oh shit, like 11 can do this and she couldn't do that before. Like we didn't necessarily see that, right? Like Will is doing stuff that he never did before, and then Henry didn't really do anything that he never did before. Really, that's like, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, where's the, you know, we both level up, but in the end, she's stronger. I love Holly, but I wish they showed her more in the
other seasons.
Other seasons.
Yeah.
But again, so you can say, well, again, it was a different actor, as we know. So I'm like, so you know, it's like then once she became, they changed her actor. Maybe that's why she had more time. Anyone cared when Callie died? Okay. As I said before in this thing, like her death was at that point was unnecessary. Like it didn't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And therefore her character was kind of useless. She should have made it to the fight with Henry and been useful there, and then her sacrifice would have meant something. But at this point, but the only thing she really did was convince 11 that, again, we don't need to go back. Like we are the problem. This is more like an Umbrella Academy, really, at this point. And it's like, so when we're gone, everything's going to be better. And that's the only thing she really brought to the table that lasted to the end.
Well, I mean, she did save the kids. That's the only reason why I'm not even really ripping her apart, is because she did save those kids, created that illusion. You know what I mean? I did kind of cringe a little bit when Henry was on the table and she's like, hello, brother. And I'm thinking, can you say brother when we never even seen y'all two like interacting ever before? Right. Because the way she said it, it would seem like, oh, this is Terminator 2 or something, like, you know, I'm like, hello, brother. Like, oh, she's back. I'm like, was she ever there? What? Like,
well, so then I have this. They forced this whole bloodline storyline in this volume, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, and she's the only one saying this shit. Like 11 doesn't say this shit about Henry. Henry doesn't say that by either one of them. So I'm like, she's the only one that sees them as family in that sense. Right. So I'm like, why? It's like they're trying to keep on reminding us that they were something. You know, right. I feel like just to make that storyline mean something. Yeah. And I was like, you're doing too much. Night King went out worst. He didn't even get a fight. Well, I disagree. Again, like he led an army of like dead people and shit. Like he did some stuff, you know. But that's another review.
I don't know, but he also underestimated Arya. You know what I mean? And you know, she slipped that shard. You know what I mean? If you think about it, I that was kind of a badass scene because of that. Because the one person who shouldn't have never killed Night King did it. Think of The Wire. Think of Omar and how Omar went out.
He lost. Right? He loves it.
Yeah, but it was epic though, because if you really think about it, who else would have been able to take that dude out? Nobody could take Omar out. So it took a dude a little kid who he didn't even expect. You know what I mean? So
Arya, do you remember Lord of the Rings when that woman killed the one of the flying guys? He's like, no man, I can't be killed by a man, and she's like, I'm not a man.
The one when she dressed up as a
remember? Yeah. Like that's what Game of Thrones reminded me of, like that kind of scene. You know what I'm saying? And also, I was gonna bring up Jon Snow has always been saved by a woman, actually. So it was very consistent. Like my friends were mad at that, and I was like, you know, almost every big battle, it took a woman to come save his happy ass, right? And they're like, oh yeah. Anyway, so that's the story for another day. I thought that Will died because he at least
7-11.
Season 1, Barbara. Season 2, Bob. Season 3, okay. So you thought Will was gonna be the next one to go?
Okay.
So we at least I thought Will was gonna. I thought again Henry was gonna go after Mike to control 11 and Will, and then Will would have been like, I got this, my love, and then like he takes one for the team, and takes it for Mike. He's like, I told you I loved you, and then boom, and it's like, and he kisses him for no reason. I don't know why he would do that, but he's like, you know what, baby, you get one for the road. And I was like, anyway, I'm sorry. I guess I'm going too far, Kim. Vecna was in fact stronger than 11, overpowered her in the house scene, and when they fought in the Mind Flare, if it wasn't for Will, she would have lost.
That's true.
They did give you that he had a little bit of the upper hand, but then Will came in, yes, and made it out. So when did she get her upper powers? I don't know. I felt like she should have destroyed those sensors, whatever. Again, to show that she was at her oomph. I thought, be like, hey, like this don't mean shit, and like I'm doing this because I want to. Anyway, to make her death worth it. Anyway, all right, Kim. I got anything else? Anything else for this? I ran out of stuff. What you got?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great ending. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed every bit of it. So, well, let's hope we get another series that's as good as this one.
You can only hope. I mean, now that Netflix is owning everything soon, so
Oh,
well, I mean, deal hasn't gone through yet. They're still procrastinating.
Touche. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that segue. I would like to submit that the premiere of how they handled Stranger Things makes me concerned about them taking over HBO content, because the quality was shit, because they couldn't handle the global interest that they generated for both. And I'm like, I'm not watching fuzzy TV, what I'm saying, and as much money as I'm spending, and now I'm gonna have to do that for House of Dragons because they can't figure out how to get enough servers to put the content up, and it crashes and stuff. I'm like, that's not impressive.
I don't think they're gonna move everything to the Netflix platform. I mean, HBO has a platform they can continue to use. It's not like they have to move everything over to Netflix. I mean, everything.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's similar to Disney and Hulu. Like, you don't have to put on Disney Plus. They put stuff on Hulu. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. It don't have to be Netflix itself.
No,
it can be HBO through Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but their handling of their streaming stuff.
No, you're right. Oh, dude, don't watch anything live. Do not watch anything live on Netflix. Don't. Like, I try to watch a couple of WWE matches and the boxing fights. Yes, I did see the Jake Paul fight. Okay, don't judge. You know what I mean? And that one, I'm just like, damn, I can't. It's like, is this 240 pixels are going on? And then all of a sudden it cuts out or whatnot. And I'm like, I thought we learned our lesson after Mike Tyson, and that was 2 years ago. So yeah.
But if you think about it, if they have HBO, they might be better. Right?
Well, I'm hoping
like that.
That's something I'm hoping that they get those kind of resources. Because I was very disappointed. I only was able to watch this thing in good quality like Saturday morning. And I was like, I shouldn't have to do that. That sort of thing. But anyway, I'm sorry.
You should watch it in theaters. It made $25 to $30 million.
I saw that in concessions because they said it had to be. My friend said it was because they didn't charge like for the tickets themselves. I heard it was like it was the concessions that they made money off of. They had to register it. Kim, anything else?
No, I enjoyed it. I recommend it to anyone. Watch it. Yeah, it's great.
All right, stick around. We'll talk afterwards. Boop. Chris, anything else before we go?
Yeah, overall great series. Don't mind me as far as like some of my critiques I had on the episode. That's just I'm if I'm critiquing a show like that, that means it's a show I really love, and then I just want it to be better. It's like having a kid who you can do better, but then if they start acting up, you don't shun other kids. No, that's your kid. That's my show. That's my show. So I'm gonna be more critical on it. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. But overall, really, really good show. I'm glad that it's finally ended because I can't handle these kids' voice dropping even further than it is now, and having horrible haircuts.
Lucas was by far the worst. Like it. Lucas, like his growth spurt was like you cannot deny that. You got to be like, he is a giant. Like I was like, what? It looked, yeah. He came back season 5.
I was gonna say he would have to be the captain of the basketball team, and he just maybe be like LeBron James, maybe something. You know what I mean? But but overall, really good show. If you haven't seen any of Stranger Things, you should definitely watch it. Only after watching that, then watch other shows like Welcome to Derry. You know what I mean? However, Welcome to Derry can be kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And let's just say there's a lot of pregnancy stuff going on in that, but anyway, but no, overall good show. Ending was all right. And I love that they put Prince in there. I did that. I was not expecting that as far as the 80s stuff for a show like this. You know what I mean? So that was a welcome surprise, so but yeah, so I can't wait to see what Duffer Brothers have set up for their next Stranger Things related project. So yeah, guys. So yeah. So then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Boop. All right, Jamani. The floor is yours. What you got?
Yeah, they're saying that that Hopper used the same ring to propose to Joyce that Jonathan used to attempt to propose to Nancy. And I'm like, so that's what he was doing in the lab. He was just going through stuff while they were doing the fight and stuff. Steve, I'm like, so you can just become a teacher. You don't got to go to college, get no education masters or nothing. You just, hey, I'm good at baseball, so I could teach sex ed now. I love the 80s.
Anything else, your body?
It was pretty good. It just needed more Erica. Season 3 was like prime Erica when they were in the mall and they were going through the elevator shaft and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have that real comic relief. Everything was like a serious conversation. It didn't matter what the hell was going on. It was, hey, let's stop for a minute and have this serious conversation to the point where it was like, yeah, you guys are dragging behind. Can you guys hurry up and come on? Not everything has to be I'm about to die and he's, and I got to tell you, make sure I'm good with you before I die, because nobody died. So it really didn't make any sense.
All right. Anything else?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Thank you, Jamal. All right, guys. Last comment. 11 killed on the Melton guy was wild, making him shoot himself. Yeah, that was next level. And as I said, it would have been good if Henry would have brought that to her attention and be like, "You're a killer, like I'm a killer," and see what does she think about that? And she killed actually a lot of military people. But anyway, excellent series. If you haven't watched it, again, you definitely should check it out. And this was a great ending, I thought. But anyway, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us for this week. We got a few more reviews scheduled for next week. So stay tuned and see what we do. And again, we hope to see you around. And please leave some good comments. And when did you watch Purple Rain? And how old were you? I was too young to do it, but still a good movie. All right.
I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoyed the view. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You're gonna be like, oh shit,
hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
What do I go there?
Oh shit.
Stacey, do your thing. Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just gonna end this broadcast and say bye.